All right. Hey, welcome, viewers, listeners. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for checking out Sami's profile. If you're on our website right now, and if you did check out her profile, you're like, hey, what is Sami all about? What is she all about as a coach? And she is the owner of Tailored Nutrition. And Sami, welcome. Thanks for spending some time to let the viewers, the listeners know a little bit about what you have going on. So if you can kind of just start, like what led you to nutrition coaching? I mean, you're a busy mom, wife, you got a lot going on. Like, why nutrition coaching of all the professions out there?
Well, a few years back, I ended up starting out as a fitness trainer. So I got certified and then became a certified personal trainer as well. And I worked at a few different boot camps and absolutely loved it. But my personal journey in fitness, I loved working out. I got that down, pretty good, but I was still not able to reach my goal. And I knew it had to be nutrition based. And I knew the basics, eat your vegetables and have some protein, but I just figured there was more to it to that. And I didn't have the habits ingrained in myself. And so I then started learning about nutrition myself and getting more into it, and went looking for those certifications in nutrition and absolutely fell in love. And I just wanted to help people like myself who, we know what to eat. We know what the doctors tell us to eat to be healthy, but we just need more guidance. And so anyways, I just wanted to be able to help other people just like myself.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I remember probably the most frustrated time of my life is, I was actually employed to pay for college as a bouncer. Yeah, back in Michigan. So like I wanted to get all big and I was into bodybuilding and I got big all right. I was drinking these crazy protein mega 1,000 shakes. And I remember driving one day and my stomach was over my seatbelt. And I remember just being so frustrated and disgusted because I was doing like 2 hours of cardio a day. I was like a personal trainer. It's like I had all these certifications. And I'm like, what is going on? And that's kind of what did it for me too, is like diving into nutrition. It's like all that cardio, yeah, my heart loved it, but it just wasn't helping me get the shape that I was looking for.
Definitely. And it's funny you use that analogy because there were many, many times I would get in the car and that seatbelt or my belly would be over that seatbelt. And that's something that broke me. And when I finally got to the state, and I even still now, I just the other day, I put my seatbelt on and I'm like, it's so great to not have my belly falling over my seatbelt. It's like, it's so funny that you said that. But yeah, I just absolutely love that you said that and mentioned that because I can really resonate with that as well. And it's definitely really emotional, I think, to know that you worked so hard, you figured it out, and now I get to live this way, the way that I wanted to live for a long time, and it's now more of a habit than something that I fight for all the time,
Yeah, totally. And I mean, I could just hear it like in your heart, and I don't want to speak for you, but would you say that you kind of getting over that mountain is really why you became a coach? Because you've experienced that frustration. You were like, what is going on?
Definitely. I feel like it is super emotional for me because I have experienced it, and I want others to feel what I feel because it feels so good, right? So I want to be able to help others get there.
Yeah, no, totally. And I love this story because kind of in this industry, I kind of like the bikinis and Lamborghinis. It's like you see like these Instagram and Facebook profiles of these people and they're all like ripped and God bless it. I'm all about that. If people want to take it to that level, I've taken it to that level. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm just thinking if like you're just a busy mom or a busy dad and you're looking at that, you're like, man, I just can never live up to the expectations of that coach. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what I like about your program is it's just real. It's like can tell me a little bit about like your background. Do you have kids? Family, stuff like that.
Yeah, so I do have 4 kids and I had them pretty close. Prior to kids, I was, somewhat of an athlete in high school and college, and then you kind of just fall off of that. I got married, and as soon as I had my first kid, I got off most of the weight, but then I got pregnant within 6 months. So my kids are really close back to back. And so I never, ever got my body back during those years. Right now, my kids they range from age 7 to 12. So they're still young, but they're not babies anymore. And it's been long enough that I, don't want to be pretending or people thinking that I'm pregnant. So there was that, it did come that time where I was like, these people are going to be wondering if I'm having another one since they see all these kids and my belly's right here. So I always feared that question. And I actually, even when my kids were little, there were times where my older ones, when they were like 5, Mommy, do you have a baby in your belly? And I didn't. So those were always really hard, right? But yeah, so that's kind of how it all came together. I started getting back on my journey when my youngest was 2. I started working out myself. I never ever thought I would be a fitness instructor, but the gym I was going to at the time, I really connected to the fitness instructor there, and I made so much progress on my journey. She was encouraging me to step out of my comfort zone, which was huge, and to get certified. So it started with that. It started with someone believing in me, and I got certified in Tabata boot camp, and I took over her class. So she wanted to retire, and I ended up taking over her class. And fabulous. Oh, I'm in my garage, and my garage got opened. I don't know why.
Hey, real
life happening. I have construction going on in my house, so I'm not in my garage. Well,
no, cool.
Anyways, moving on. I got really encouraged by my fitness instructor, and then from there moved forward, continued with my journey, got my personal training certificate, and then again, still wanted to move forward with my progress. And I knew that had to be nutrition. So yeah.
That's awesome. So let me ask you, like, you have so much going on yourself. Like, what do you have a particular client that you like to work with? Like, are you more like, hey, I want to work with the busy mom that's kind of maybe feels like she's at rock bottom, or like, what would be like your perfect avatar client?
Yeah, I think, going along with what we talked about, I think that I would be really, really helpful to someone who kind of has experienced what I have been through. So say the mom who has been into working out, that fitness guru, but not necessarily getting to that weight she wants. So I know plenty of people, even as a instructor, who love working out. They're so dedicated, 5 or 6 days a week, working out like an hour and a half, but they still consider themselves overweight. And they, I know it's all about the kitchen, right? So being able to help someone who's in that spot, who they got the working out down. So I can help in that area if someone needs it. They got that down, but they just need a little bit more guidance in their nutrition, how to go about eating, how about creating those habits. So I think that would be like my ideal client, though I would take anybody, any place. Right now, I'm kind of half and half with my clients right now. Half are parents and half are not. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So a little bit about like, what would be your approach? Say I'm like, man, I got to get to know this girl. I want to maybe do like a consultation, or what can I expect? So if you and I are in a coaching relationship, what can I expect from your program?
Yeah, so we would probably take about a week or so and get to know each other. I would kind of observe. So we'd have a couple conversations. I would observe, kind of your day in and day out, your schedule of eating, the type of foods you like. So our first few, a week or so together, I would just observe you being you. Show me what you eat, take pictures of it, post them for me. I'll look at them. I'll see, what kind of eater you are, times of day you like to eat, things like that. And then from there, we would have more conversations on your goals. And then maybe kind of getting your calories at a number that would get you in that deficit and encourage your body to have that weight loss desired.
I love how you made it all about me. I have a really close friend who, she's not a nutrition coach yet, but she hired nutrition coaches, and she got a program once. And it was clearly a copy and paste because it had someone else's name on it. It was like, no, right? We were dying laughing. And we're like such good friends. And I was her coach for a long time, and she just wanted to try someone else out. And she's like, I'm coming back. It was very easy. There's so many like cookie cutter approaches, and everything that you just said about your program is like, hey, I'm going to get to know you. I'm going to see pictures of what you're eating. I'm going to get to know your style of foods that you enjoy. And I think That is so missing. I think a lot of coaches are just trying to domesticate other people on their way or whatever. So
I
that's
think
awesome.
people are already so overloaded with what media is telling them, what one, fitness guru is telling them, or nutrition guru is telling them that this is the only way. If you eat like this is it. You have to eat it like this if you want to lose weight, and this diet's not going to work and that diet's not going to work, but only this one, like it's not about that. It's about finding what works for you and your lifestyle, because you don't want to gain it. You don't want to work so hard, do it that way, for so long, and then 2 months later be done with that style, and then it all comes back. So
yeah. I totally agree. I used to make that mistake, is I would try to get everyone on macros because it was optimal. I loved using that word optimal. It sounded so scientific,
Right.
And you know what? It wasn't optimal. It wasn't optimal for my sister, who's a busy attorney. Like, it wasn't optimal for my mom, so that really was a big mindset shift that I had to switch when we kind of created on this, is what's optimal is what's sustainable,
Right. Exactly.
So, love it. Cool. So kind of before we get into how we can contact you, how someone is listening to this and they can contact you, launching a business, becoming a coach, especially how serious you take this. You're not just like, I'm going to give it a try. You have a story, and this is a mission for you. This isn't just something you're doing to make some extra cash, or something you're doing because, to fill in the time. I mean, with 4 kids, there's probably time is probably not abundant. So how did you get over the fear of, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur that took investment, not just financial investment, but a little time investment. How did you kind of get over that to make the step and say, hey, I really want to get out there and make this happen?
That was my biggest hurdle, believing in myself and making it happen. Honestly, the support of Macromillionaire has been the main reason why I took the steps forward. Yes, I wanted to help people. Yes, I wanted to do this on my own, and I am, but I think that I don't know that I would have taken that step forward without Macromillionaire's help. Knowing that they're there to help me, support me, answer my questions, guide me along, was really definitely key to me getting started.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you help so many people within our network, so it's definitely an awesome relationship. So that's cool. So what would you tell me? Maybe there's a coach out there with a similar story to yourself, a passion for this, and they're just like, I can never do it. What would be the best words of advice you might tell that person?
Yes, you can. Believe in yourself. And but when I was thinking about making that step forward, I was going back and forth because it is an investment, and it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time, like I said, and never was gutsy enough to do it. And my husband and I were talking on whether or not to make this choice happen. And he's like, if you don't do it, you're never gonna know if you could have done it. If you could be that person you have wanted to be for so long, you would never know if you don't do it. Now, if you don't do it, you will never know if you could have done it. Is that what I said twice?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. What you just said, it's like the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
Nobody wants to live in that regret. And that goes for anything. I mean, there might be someone listening to this right now and they're like, I don't know, should I hire a coach? Yes, absolutely. Hook up with Sami. Send her a message, because you don't want to live in the what ifs,
Exactly. Definitely. And the worst that can happen is you give it a try and it backfires on you for whatever reason. And then right? You gave it a try. So if you don't try,
Yeah. Well, one thing in closing that I've always found for you, Sami, is you just seem to follow your heart. You know what I mean? I mean, your story, that's a heartfelt story, so I know it was definitely a big decision, launching a coaching business, doing all that goes behind the scenes with that. But I love what your husband said, and not living in regret, not living in the what ifs, and then just following your heart. I think that's
definitely
the best thing. So,
definitely.
All right. People get in touch with you. Someone's like, hey, I'm going to talk to you about some coaching. I got the seatbelt thing going on. Like, how can you?
So You can email me at coachsammyt@gmail.com, or Facebook, Sami Thomas. Also Instagram, Sami Thomas 80, or at Sami Thomas 80. And then of course on the bio under Math Millionaires website.
Cool. And that's Sami, S-A-M-I, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Awesome.
Coach Sami, S-A-M-I.
Cool. Awesome. Hey, well, thank you so much for your time. I know you've got construction going on. You got littles to run.
Yeah.
But, I know that a lot of viewers are really going to appreciate this and get in touch with you. So thank you so much for tribing up with us. And yeah, definitely check her out. She'll do a free game plan for you, do a little deeper dive of what her program offers, and get you to where you want to be. Thank you, Sami.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jesse.